Welcome to Better Reading.
Hello.
Hi, this is Natalie.
And I'm Verity.
We both work at Better Reading and we're very excited to be here. It's one of our favourite segments. Verity is normally working the back end of that. Everyone remembers Dex. Verity now does Dex's role and looking after the back end of everything. But every now and then we like to get in front of the screen, and so today is a good excuse for that.
We love talking to you guys about what you love to read and getting book recommendations from you, so keep them coming in the comments.
Yes, so you all know how it works, and if you're new here, we're going to tell you what we're reading, and you come through in the comments and tell us what you're reading, and we're going to read them out and have a nice discussion about books today. So, Verity, do you want to share what our book of the week is?
So our book of the week is 17 Years Later by J.P. Pomeroy. And as you can see on the front, it says, Who Really Killed the Primrose Family? So this is a pacey and twisty thriller exploring themes of race and class, and it's set in a small town in New Zealand. And as known by the title, 17 Years Later, there was a murder ages ago, and then they thought they solved it, but then new information has come to light, so they're trying to figure out who really committed the murder because it was false information previously. So I'm really excited to figure out who actually solved the murder. So yeah, give that a read.
I haven't read that one, but it's definitely on my TBR. I'm actually pregnant and going on my maternity leave soon, so I'm going to use the What Are You Reading as well as all these books in the background here that I'm going to use to finally have some nice down reading time. Okay, comments haven't come through, but that's okay. Send through your comments and we will continue to discuss what we're reading in the meantime.
And if you have any suggestions for Nat for what she should read when she's on maternity leave, feel free to leave those there.
Please do. Hi, Susan. She's reading Julie Goodwin, Book Your Time, Start Now. Very nice. Joy Bell says, Hi, girls. Lovely to see you. I'm reading Milking Time by Rachel Treasure. I love that book. I read that one. I love that book. Are you enjoying it, Joy Bell? Let me know. Janine says she's reading Hamnet and love being placed in a completely different world. That I've had that book at home for like 3 years and haven't actually read it yet. And I've heard so many good things about it. It was recommended by so many people. So I'm definitely going to push that to the top of my list to finally read.
I haven't read that one, but I definitely relate to you saying that you love being placed in a completely different world, and that's why I love to read. I feel like I can experience so many different things that I wouldn't normally experience in my life, so I love escaping to different worlds through reading, so I definitely relate to you there, Genevieve.
Well, I think Hamnet is sort of like a bit of a twist on Hamlet.
Yeah, that's
something like that from memory. I was recommended and I just bought it without even reading what it's about. Then never actually read the book, so I have to actually go ahead and read that. Okay, I want to talk about Ruth Ware. I know so many of you know and love her books. This is her latest one. It's called One Perfect Couple. It's a high-tension thriller which follows 5 couples trapped on a storm-swept island as a killer stalks among them. So in typical Ruth Ware fashion, you're getting a fantastic read, a perfect read, no pun intended or definitely intended, and add this one to your list as soon as you can. Do you want to talk about what you're reading next?
So Ollie's going to put this one on the screen for us, The Girls from Fitzroy by Jenny Jones. And this is a feel-good historical fiction about the power of friendship and the pursuit of destiny. I know lots of you are big fans of historical fiction, so this is another good one to put on your list. So, yeah, let us know if you're going to read this one.
Awesome. And actually, I'm going to segue a bit, as everyone knows Cheryl loves segues. JP Pomeroy, he's going to be in our office maybe next month or the month after to film an Authors on Authors video. And I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to everything happening on Facebook and YouTube. It's our YouTube video series, Authors on Authors, 2 authors in conversation, fantastic conversations. And honestly, we've just filmed this morning, episode 5, and no 2 conversations are the same. It is so engaging every single time. But we've just had 2 of your favorites in conversation, and that was released on yesterday. That was Margaret Hickey and Petronella McGovern. And we're going to pop on screen a little teaser of that one for you to check out.
1 second.
Oh, we're waiting 1 second.
Yeah, and I think when you have that microcosm of community, then you have, both of us are writing crime thrillers, so something bad happens, and how how the community responds to that.
I'm writing my new one too, and the way that I write, I don't know if you're the same, but I never know who the killer is till about 50,000 words, or till roughly about, so it creeps up on me. So I think those characters and that mix of community is so interesting to write about. Do you?
That was such a great conversation between the two of those. We were listening to it live and we were just like, keep talking, don't let this conversation end. We loved it so much. So if you haven't watched that already, it's out on our YouTube channel, and it'll come up in the comments as well very soon. I'm going to read a few more comments. So Dee says, hi guys, I'm currently reading The Other Bridget by Rachel Johns and loving it. Fantastic. We love The Other Bridget.
We also did an Authors on Authors with Rachel Johns and Belinda Alexandra. Yeah,
so if you go and watch one Authors on Authors, go and watch all of them, because honestly, they're short, sweet,
interesting,
and such fascinating conversations and fascinating insights.
Things you would never consider about when authors writing their books. I love it. Just insight into their little world of writing.
Yeah. And some really cool anecdotes as well of how they met and little stories between them. It's great. Yvonne is reading The No-Show by Beth O'Leary. Joybell loved Milking Time by Rachel Treasure. Christine says, hello, Better Reading team. Hi, Christine.
Hello.
I have just finished reading The Creeper by Margaret Hickey and starting The Last Trace by Petronella McGovern. Well, isn't that fantastic?
Perfect.
You're reading the two books from our recent Authors on Authors. So that's fantastic. Well done. I hope you enjoy them. We've loved both of those in the office. Carolyn says, hey, hello, Nat and Verity. Congratulations, Nat. Such lovely news. Thank you very much. My reads have been Big Sky by Kate Atkinson, The Queens of Poisons by Robert Thorogood, and Everyone in My Family Has Killed Someone by Benjamin Stevenson. Ooh. I loved that one. That's been passed around the office now, I think, to everyone, and we're all getting a good read of that one. It was a fantastic, fantastic book. Jane Harvey is reading The Paris Agent by Belinda Alexander and loves it. Susan says, Nat, how long before you have your bub? You will be looking for sleep. Definitely looking for sleep. I just walked around the office and I'm out of breath, and doing this and I'm out of breath. I'm due in December, so taking an earlier maternity leave to just sort of soak in the last bits of time by myself before the first baby arrives, and just prepare everything. So
we will miss her lots in the office, but she definitely deserves this break.
Yes, and I'll be popping in still a few times just to watch some Authors on Authors, because we've got some great authors lined up.
Really exciting ones coming up.
I cannot miss these. I have to be in for them. So I'll still be around here and there in the background. Kylie says, hi, ladies. I'm currently reading The Borrowed Life of Frederick Fife. I'm really enjoying it so far.
That is one of my favorites so far. I love it, and I cannot believe it is a debut novel from Anna Johnston, but such a beautiful story. I love it.
She actually did our What Are You Reading last week with Caroline Overington. So after this one, if you want to go see what their recommendations and what their conversation was like, go and watch last week's What Are You Reading as well. I want to talk about Inheritance by Genevieve Gannon. This is from the author of The Mothers, a family drama that explores the possibilities and dangers of designing the perfect child. It's a fascinating concept. Also on my maternity leave TBR, because we only just got this in the office, I think, a few days ago. And I'm like, I need to read this. This seems so timely, has a lot of points for conversation. So if you're in a book club, I think this will have a lot of discussion notes, a lot of discussion topics. So definitely see if you can get your hands on this one. Cheryl's also going to record a podcast with Genevieve very soon. So keep your ears out for that one as well. And what's next on your list?
Next on my list is Home Truths by Charity Norman. This is another one that as soon as I read the blurb, I was so intrigued. So it explores the life of a family, and their life has been destroyed by lies and the impacts of grief and conspiracy theories. It's kind of two different storylines going on. The mum, Livia, she's on trial for attempted murder, and then also her husband, Scott, 2 years earlier, his brother has passed away and he's searching for answers. So kind of those things going on. It's kind of like how the different impacts of what has happened in their life is impacting them now, and yeah, just their decisions they make and how that affects the family and how the tragedy is affecting them. So yeah, if you like the sound of that, definitely give Home Truths by Charity Normans a read.
It sounds fascinating, actually.
Yeah.
Really, really fascinating.
Definitely, as soon as I read the blurb, I was like, this is going on my TBR. I need to know what happens.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, oh, you know, just as soon as it's like, oh, what's happened? I'm not quite sure. I'm like, have to find out.
Yeah.
So that's definitely gets me in a book if that's in the blurb.
Yeah,
Don't know about
always.
you.
Yeah, I'm the same. It doesn't take me much to be like, yep, okay, I want to read that. I come on to what are you reading, and if you just give me the shortest snippet of the blurb, I'm like, yep, okay, I'll add that. And we, having worked here for the last 4 years, I literally have the longest stack of books that I need to read because I read for work and then go home and want to read, and sometimes I just want to watch Netflix. So
yeah, my TBR is growing so much. And then I don't know if you relate to this, but I kind of get stressed because I'm like, I've got all these books I want to read, but I don't have the time to read them. It's like how to prioritize. So I don't know how you guys prioritize your TBR list. If you have any tips for us,
that's a good idea. A good question. Sorry to ask. How do you organize, like, what read you're going to read next? Do things constantly move around, or do you set them in order and you're just rigid with it? Let us know in the comments. Jessica says hi, and she's reading Finding Ashley by Danielle Steele. Eloise is about to start Jane Harper's Exiles. Would love some opinions about this book. I've enjoyed her other books so far. I haven't read Exiles. I've read The Dry, of course. I've read a few for others. But I'm sure there is someone here who has read Exiles. If you can all go and give Eloise some opinions about this book, even though I think reading is so subjective, and just have a read and see how much you enjoy it and what you do and don't like about it. Christine says Petronella and Margaret were fantastic to listen to.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, great. So I'm thinking that's where you maybe got it's maybe where you got some of the inspiration to read Petronella's last book, The Last Trace. Susan said, looks good, authors on authors. It's fantastic. Brian says, given Nat's news, any books about mothers and children you would recommend? Oh, we actually have had
quite a few recently.
We've had a few come in, and I think we recently did a book stack with that theme in mind.
Definitely.
It depends if you're looking for fiction or nonfiction. I know that there's Ariane Beeston's one. What's it called?
I can picture the cover in my mind.
Can someone look it up? It was like something. It's about perinatal depression, which is so prevalent, and I know so many people who have been through something like that during their pregnancies, and it's a conversation. Because I'm Not Myself, you see, by Ariane Beeston. So we included that in a book stack with a few others, mixed in with some fiction, nonfiction as well. So if you're looking for anything on that theme, maybe start there and see where you go. Maybe we'll also write up a book list for you, Brian, and keep an eye out for that on our website. We'll see how we go with that. Natasha has just finished Dylan Hardcastle's A Language of Limbs, beautifully moving. I've never heard of that book, but I'm going to look that one up.
I love the name. The name just sounds so poetic.
A Language of Limbs. Yeah. It sounds very poetic, a bit like it has some deep meaning. So that sounds very, very interesting. Sandra Carrie Jones says she's reading The Mystery Guest by Nita Prose. That's my next read. Not The Mystery Guest, but The Maid. I think that might be the first one, if that's the same. I know it's the same.
McFadden.
Oh my gosh, I'm thinking, it's my baby brain's coming in, thinking of a different author. Okay, not my next read. I think it was another book I thought it was the same name. Anyway, I could be wrong.
Oh, The Housemaid is.
You're thinking of The Housemaid.
Yeah, too many books.
Yeah, too many books, similar titles. No, Nita Prose, it's called The Maid, and I think that might be the second or third book in the series, or it might be just a standalone. I'm not too sure about The Mystery Guest, but I think it might be the sequel or the third book. But that's been on my TBR for literally since the day I started here. So I have said that's going to be my first read, maybe tonight. So I'll see and let you guys know. But it's pretty good so far. Light and amusing whodunit. I think what I liked about the premise of The Maid is that it's cozy crime, and I don't feel like I enjoy crime books so much these days. I just feel like something a bit more light at the end of the day, but I still love my crime novels. So cozy crime has been a good happy
compromise.
medium.
Yeah, definitely.
Exactly. Marg just finished Matt Haig's latest The Life Impossible. Great book. I think we've got a copy of that here
Yeah,
in
this
the
is
office.
another great segue. I think that's one
Ooh.
of our recent preview books. So
Yes.
to explain a bit about preview, if you don't know, we do a preview campaign. So you get the opportunity to read a book before it's come out, an advanced reader copy, and then you get this for free sent to you in exchange for a review. So if you subscribe to our newsletter, every week there'll be 2 or 3 books in there, and you can sign up for a chance, and then a few people get chosen. The book gets sent to them. You have 6 weeks to read and review. And yeah, it's just a great opportunity to read the book, give your thoughts.
You get to learn about a book and read it before anyone else because you get it at least 6 to 8 weeks before the publication
Which
date.
I think that really excites
so
me.
good.
The thought of being one of the first people to see it, to
You're
see the
literally an
cover.
advanced reader.
Yeah.
And you get to leave a little short review in exchange for getting a free book. It's fantastic. It's competitive though, so make sure you get your registration in each week. It's only open for a day, but we had something.
This one, when the
difficulty.
world tips over by Jandy Nelson, there was a bit of difficulty with the form opening, but the form is still open and will close tomorrow. So if you haven't had a chance to get your form in for that one, definitely go now. It will close out 1:30 tomorrow.
Yeah.
And another thing on that is make sure you put your correct email in when you sign up for preview. We've been having a lot of people mistyping their emails and then they don't get the information for it. So just double check your email. I know it can be really exciting. You just want to submit your entry straight away, but make sure you check your details are correct.
Yes. Great. Sally is reading The Star on the Grave by Linda Margolin Royale. I think we did that book a few months ago. So did you get that recommendation from us, Sally? Helen is Listen for the Lie by she's reading Listen for the Lie by Amy Tintera and listening to Murder of Harriet Monckton by Elizabeth Haynes. Emma says hello. Hi, Emma.
Hello.
Julie says, hi, Nat and Verity. I'm listening to Shuggy by Douglas Stewart and reading The Chilling by Riley James for the ARC program. We are the preview program.
Preview.
Yes, great, Julie. Emma is currently reading Lioness Rampant by Tamora Pierce. Leah says, my kids have the TV and I read the books. That's a good
That's
compromise. Great. And I'm sure you guys swap occasionally, but, there you go. Kylie says, who are the winners for the book giveaway? Which book giveaway? I don't know if you're referring to Top 50 Kids. If you are, let me know and I can explain that. The winners have not been announced for that just yet. We're still working on the list and you'll be notified, I believe, in September for that one. Kerry is reading or listening to an audiobook. Joyce Maynard, Count the Ways, so good. Brings back so many memories of fleeting motherhood and also the closeness of a young family before those children grow. Oh, that sounds lovely.
I have a
Maybe
question.
I should read that.
Yeah. It seems like a lot of people are listening to books this week on What Are You Reading? So I just want to know, when do you prefer to listen to an audio book over reading a book? And is it on your way to work? Is it because it's easier to do? Because I don't know, I haven't listened to audiobooks for a while, but I think it is a good way to do it. And sometimes I just love the way that the person reads it out and just gives you another dimension into the book. So let me know your opinions on audiobooks. What do you think?
I actually don't listen to audiobooks, which I think is controversial, but I also hardly read because of that. And I think if I did listen to audiobooks, I would be reading so much more. And it's being pregnant and eventually going to have a newborn, I think I'm going to have to start listening to audiobooks. Otherwise, I'm not even going to get any time to read at all.
Definitely.
So I know a lot of people who are doing housework and listening,
I know
cooking and listening.
My sister on her drive to work every day will listen to an audio
Exactly.
book. Yeah.
So I've been listening to podcasts on my way to and from work and everything, but I think audiobooks is something I really should get into so I can finally start reading and ticking things off my list. Okay, this is to answer the question about our TBR pile and how people sift through that. So Jane says she tries to read her oldest books first on her TBR pile. Yvonne says she doesn't belong to a book club because I want the joy of the story, not to listen to what others thought about it, yes or no. I think that's completely within your right in the sense because sometimes you just want that book for yourself. And I think reading is super subjective and sometimes you're not going to agree with what people's thoughts are on it. So I guess if you love the book, that's great. And if you hate a book, that's also great for you. But I think some people really enjoy after having read a book, they've picked up on something, especially maybe something that has a lot of meaning or some complex content that they like to delve into that and unpack it a bit. So I think that's sort of the benefit of a book club.
Especially when the book has a bit of a controversial ending or like a vague ending, when it's kind of like up to you to decide. I love speaking to my friends who have read it and be like, oh, what do you think? Do you think, especially like Verity by Colleen Hoover, is like which ending do you believe? Do you believe him? Do you believe her? So kind of in those situations, I love to chat to somebody else about it, but sometimes you just want to sit with your own thoughts about the book and not like have it spoiled by others. So I think it's just personal preference depending on the book.
Definitely. Julie says she has too many on her TBR. I think we all understand that here. I have to see how I'm feeling when I finish a book before I decide what's next. I just finished A Big Surge of Thriller Crime, and now about to start James by Percival Everett for book club. So there you go. I'm kind of like that too. I think things shift around depending on where I'm at in life and what I kind of feel like reading sometimes. And I guess because I mainly read at the end of the day, I'm usually leaning more towards lighthearted, feel-good stuff because I don't feel like it's something heavy right before bed. But I'm waiting to finally start reading some heavier stuff during the day again. Emma says she's a huge mood reader. She also has a top 20 TBR to pick from that has a wide range of genres. I like that. Keeps it versatile. Susan said, I read what I feel like on the day. I do have the pile of dozen books. Usually read 2 to 3 books a week, so I usually get to them. That is so admirable, and I'm waiting for myself to get to that point where I'm reading 2 to 3 books a week. Kathy is reading The Unexpected Inheritance of Inspector Chopra by Vaseem Khan and is enjoying it so far. Oh, her book is The Maid. Yes. First book and The Mystery Guest. The second book, easy read. So good. Okay. I was sure my memory wasn't failing me too much, but yes, lots of Maid books going around at the office.
Very popular at the moment. The Maid, The Housemaid. Yeah. The Housemaid is watching. All of them are big books at the moment. So check them all out.
Marg says she just finished Held by Anne Michaels and about to begin The Shadow of the Wind by Carlos. Also listening to Birdsong by Sebastian Faulks. I think I've got a copy of Birdsong at home. I need to read that one as well. Or is it Songbird? One of the two. Maybe we're thinking of 2 different books here. Janine says The Maid is fabulous. So many books on my TBR pile. I usually alternate between something light and then something more heavy.
I think I relate to that because I'm big into reading psychological thrillers, but sometimes it gets too intense for me. So I'm like, oh, let's have a lighthearted romance. But then sometimes like, oh, I'm reading too much romance. Let's completely twist it and do like a heavier book. So
heavy crime thriller or something.
Yeah, the complete opposite. I'm on the two opposite ends of the spectrum.
Yeah. Yvonne says we've all got Kerry says to Yvonne, we've all got individual tastes, thank goodness. Sometimes a book will speak to the reader by whatever they may be struggling with at that time. Like yourself, I like to submerge myself, whatever reason, and see where the book takes me. I think that's a great perspective.
I love that.
Emma listens to audiobook while doing household chores, definitely makes it more fun. Dallas says, where is a good place to get audiobooks? We say Belinda Audio. They sponsor our podcast, but have such a fantastic variety. And great people reading.
Is that the one that you get BorrowBox through your library?
Yeah, there's also BorrowBox through your library, exactly, if you want that. Otherwise there are so many avenues to get audiobooks. Gail just started doing audiobooks while she hand sews.
Oh, I love that. I also love sewing, and for sewing and reading together, what could be better?
Yeah. Cheryl has just started reading Victoria Perman's Radio Hour after enjoying Tia Cooper's The Talented Mrs. Greenway. Keep an eye out. We've got Tia's next book coming out in November, is it? I think end of November.
Sometime around the end of November.
Yeah, and there should be an event or something coming up with her as well here, so keep an eye out. Karen is reading an arc of A Mother's Betrayal by Louise Guy, which is coming out on September 12th, which is exciting. Natasha listens at least every second day at work when doing a repetitive task on long drives, which I do weekly, and my morning walk. Feels like a friend telling me a story. Oh, I love that. Stevie McKeon reads A Language of Limbs so well it got me really emotional. 2 women's stories starting in 1970s Newcastle about queer love, finding your tribe, and self-acceptance. That sounds fantastic. Michelle is reading Rachel John's comedy romance, The Other Bridget, one for lovers of books, sorry. Yes, we love Rachel Johns, also who has an authors coming out. Okay, we need to finish up soon. So a few things. Better ask Cheryl. So that is if you are writing a book or know someone writing a book and want some industry advice and experience, you can come through and have a one-on-one 45-minute session with Cheryl herself, who has a lot of tips, tricks, and insights into the publishing industry. So if you're looking for where to start, what to do, you can go onto our website and there's a link there, and it'll be in the comments here as well.
You can ask her any questions you want. It can be personalized to what you're wanting to know.
Yep.
And she just has so much knowledge. I really highly recommend doing it.
And I think we're going to leave you with a question. We've asked a few today because we're just always so curious about different things. But this is something that I want to go through and read now once we finish up. So if you guys want to continue to comment, this stays up on our Facebook page. Did you want to ask the question?
So what are your guys' opinions on special editions of books? If one comes out, I think one's come out recently for Fourth Wing.
Yeah.
And there's lots of them. So if you guys already own the book, are you likely to go and get the special edition, or do you wait for them to come out? Like, do you like to go buy them? Do you just appreciate them in the shop? Like, are you for or against special editions of books?
Yeah, I'm very curious about that because someone asked that last week, and we were all so fascinated by that. And we thought, I don't know, we had very different opinions. So let us know in the comments. We're very, very keen to know, where you sit on the fence of limited editions. This is probably my last What Are You Reading? I don't do them very often anyway, but thank you all. It's been so lovely. I'll still be a very active member on here on my own personal page. And if you guys have any recommendations for books I should add to my maternity leave TBR pile, let me know in the comments as well. And we will see you soon. And thank you for all the well wishes as well.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
See you next